Hi everybody, I'm Paul Swearengin, the nonpartisan evangelical, and I have people ask me all the time, Paul, why do you talk so much about the emotional issue of abortion? Well, I think it's really an important one because it's the one issue that allows Christians to not only feel it's okay to be the dividers of culture rather than the healers of it, but that they're supposed to be the dividers of it. Let's talk about it today on the Nonpartisan Evangelical. Are Christians today pro-life, modeling the life of Jesus in the Gospels, or are we more anti-abortion and wanting to force a law onto the people of our country? I've written a new blog about it, which you can see at my website, npepodcast.com, NPE, Nonpartisan Evangelical, npepodcast.com. And I'm going to summarize that blog in a few videos this week. It's important, I think, to go to the roots of the abortion movement in the evangelical church. Roe v. Wade passed in 1973, making abortion legal in the United States, and it really went without a lot of hue and clamor from the evangelical church. In fact, the leader of the Southern Baptist Convention at the time called it a Catholic issue. But in 1979, a Republican operative named Paul Weyrich talked with Jerry Falwell and said, hey, you know, this abortion issue is one that we can use to motivate people to vote our way. Now, why did Weyrich want to do this? Because Jimmy Carter, the president at the time, who ironically was probably the most evangelical president we've ever had, was going after private universities like Falwell's Liberty University and was saying, you're going to lose your tax-exempt status if you don't integrate and racially integrate your student body. Weyrich and Falwell didn't like that at all, but Weyrich said, hey, racial segregation is not going to be a good issue to get Christians to vote, but abortion will. Thus, the moral majority was born. And a candidate named Ronald Reagan, who as a governor of California had signed the most liberal abortion law in the country, suddenly became very anti-abortion. And sure enough, Reagan defeated Carter for the presidency that year, making Carter a one-term president, and Christians moved en masse to the Republican Party. Do we ever stop and think that maybe that was part of the process of abortion becoming such an important issue that makes Christians one-issue voters so regularly? And do we ever think, would Jesus be a one-issue voter? Every time Jesus was asked about morality by the religious leaders in biblical times, he would avoid that argument with them. And in fact, he would turn it on them and say, you know, you've heard it said, don't murder. But I say, if you call your brother a fool, you're actually the one bound for hellfire. And I wonder if today, if Jesus were on earth in the flesh, he'd be saying to us, if you're 100% right on abortion, but you don't love people, then you really don't have God's heart. What did Jesus say about abortion after all? I'm going to talk about that in our next video. Also, you can read my blog about abortion that just came out on my website, npepodcast.com. That's Nonpartisan Evangelical, npepodcast.com. And if you sign up for my insiders list while you're there, I'll give you a gift, my free ebook called The Making of Joseph. It tells about the writing of my new novel, Joseph Comes to Town When the Religious Right Goes Religiously Wrong. And I'll even give you the first 3 chapters of the novel for free. The Nonpartisan Evangelical website is npepodcast.com. I hope you'll check it out there. Have a great day. We'll see you next time on the Nonpartisan Evangelical podcast video. I'm Paul, and I want you to know God is not mad at you.